Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine, the show with valued information. I'm your host, Edwin Atkinson. We have a great show planned just for you, so let's get right into it.
We are hoping that the time will come to be able to track these calls.
Hello, the house are burned down.
And punish those who are doing this.
All too frequently, a unit is unavailable for an actual fire emergency, merely because it is responding to a false alarm.
And it results in most instances to a waste of resources that could be used for more productive purposes. So I want to encourage members of the public to desist from this practice. We tend to see a spike in false alarm calls during the summer when the kids are home. Because they are home, they have their cell phone and they see it as fun to dial whether 110 or 119 to say that there's a fire somewhere. So I want to encourage parents to pay attention to that as well.
Prank calls may seem funny and innocent, but they are not. When we make idle calls to our emergency services, we undoubtedly put others at risk. Imagine calling your fire service or police station for help, but they are preoccupied with thoughtless actions such as a prank call. Imagine the repercussions for those with genuine need. Better yet, let the professionals tell you. Deputy Superintendent of Police Stacey Powell and call center manager at the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Tanya Ricketts, are here to give us the facts. Let's listen in.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and programs. I'm Theodore Henry. Now, prank calls are nothing new for the Jamaica Constabulary Force, but what may seem like a joke to the callers is creating significant challenges for the Constabulary's call center. Here to shed more light on the issue, we have with us Deputy Superintendent of Police Stacey Powell and Tanya Ricketts, call center manager for the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Welcome to the program, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's jump into getting some facts right now. First of all, I love definitions. What is a prank call? Let's take Lady Ricketts for this
my
one.
word. A prank call is any call that is deemed mischievous.
Right.
It's not a real call. It's not a real situation. It doesn't define anything that is indeed happening that needs the assistance of the police.
And these are on like the emergency lines, you know.
Definitely, the 119 lines.
What's the frequency with which the call center is getting prank calls
Boy,
these days?
if I told you today, you'd probably find it so unbelievable.
Tell me, man, tell me.
In a 60-second period, probably every 3 seconds, because these persons that make the prank calls, they don't stay on the line very long. Not a lot of them do. So we have those calls every minute, every shift,
Right.
every day. It's just constant.
Every 3 seconds.
Basically, yes.
Wow, wow, and that's something that is that increasing?
Definitely. There has been an increase due to the fact that it's now summer holidays. And that's where the children come in.
What are you saying? I was
Yes.
going to ask who you think is
Oh,
most
boy.
responsible. I think you just answered that for
Yes.
us. So it's increasing. All right, DSP Powell, I want to bring you here now. Okay, so the call is made. I want you to make this real for us. The call is made, something is reported. I don't know what you're hearing at the call center. How does this translate into real life? It's just a phone call.
It's just a phone call, but in real life, it speaks to waste of resources. It speaks to us not being able to respond in a timely manner to a genuine case of emergency. It speaks to psychological impact. Imagine a police officer turning up at your residence, being told that there's a gunman on premises, when in truth and in fact that is not the case.
And you might be responding in force.
And we will be responding because,
Will.
you know, officers
Right.
are properly trained.
Yes, yes. Okay, so what, I really want to get a sense of the work. What's one of the most, I want to say damaging prank calls that you guys have heard?
Damaging prank calls, they vary from ordering for fast foods, from, yes, fast food. So if, for the kids, your
Right.
favorite fast food, they dial us.
Yes?
If it is that some persons have some issues as it relates to sexual advances, our call takers go through that sexual harassment. For persons who want just some general information, not anything that is an emergency that can be dealt with otherwise.
Right.
And starting last year in November, I believe November accounted for 103 bomb threats. And so far, we have had over 129 instances where bomb threats were received. And again, our officers and the other stakeholders in the fight against crime
Right.
responded where these bomb threats are concerned. So you can understand the impact that is placed on the limited resources that we have.
Right.
And in terms of the financial cost, the psychological impact, and the delayed response to a genuine case of emergency.
I like that you mentioned the delayed response. I don't know what manpower is like at the call center, but if you're dealing with one thing, it seems to me, DSP Powell, that a certain call, like a bomb threat, is not just one person answering the phone. It is one person answering the phone, getting the threat, pushing it to somebody else, a whole division mobilized. Am I on the right track here?
Yes, definitely. In responding to a case of bomb threat, we have to coordinate the different resources to respond.
Right.
So we have been focusing on our response time in a general way, especially with our ISO 9001 certification.
Right.
And that sees us responding in town center within 15 minutes, having received, interviewed and dispatched that call.
Okay.
And also having our operatives, the officers on the street actually attending on those locations. So for town centers, it is 15 minutes, and that is inclusive of the time the call is made to when we respond to that call.
Right.
And also when it comes to areas outside of the town center, 25 minutes.
25
so
minutes.
that takes some amount of collation and coordination and pulling the resources together. And going back to November when we had over 100 and odd bomb threats coming in,
Just
you
a
can
month,
imagine
Yeah.
what took place during that time when we had the response. And just think about the businesses.
Right.
So we had the wharf, we had schools, we had business places, and I believe last week we had a courthouse. in
Yes,
St.
we heard about
Catherine.
that one.
Yes.
We heard about that one.
So imagine the time, the manpower that is lost, the productivity that is lost for those particular threats that were received.
Right, and this is not just out in the force personnel, even in the call center, because I assume there's a process.
There is a process. In terms of bomb threats, it's all hands on deck,
Yes.
basically. So our staff, they get, excited. It's work. It's helping,
Right.
resolving.
Right.
You get a bomb threat, we're expecting other persons, so we're more keen, listening for other cues, other clues,
Right,
everything.
right.
So it really has a psychological effect on the staff because you put so much effort into fixing this situation, getting to the bottom of it, and
Right.
then It's not real.
I'm getting some vibes of that old story that we used to
Yeah.
hear, the boy who cried
Boy,
wolf.
Exactly.
We're going to go to a break right now, but please stay with us. We'll be right back.
How am I going to go to college? I can't find anybody to stand security for me. I mean, I could ask my aunt, but she's likely not going to want to do it. Let me ask her just in case. Auntie, do you know if anybody I could use to stand as guarantor for my student loan? I'm really struggling here.
Hey sis, what are you stressing about now?
Time is winding down and I need to find someone to stand as guarantor for my student loan. But everyone I ask can't seem to do it, and I don't know what to do now.
So hold on. You didn't know that the Students' Loan Bureau doesn't require a guarantor for the loan application?
Are you serious? That's amazing.
Yes, effective April 1, 2024, the Students' Loan Bureau no longer requires applicants to have guarantors. This applies to all SLB loan products. With SLB, you can make your dreams a reality. Visit our website at slbja.com for more details and follow all our social media platforms to be in the loop.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We're discussing prank calls and the effect on the JCF's emergency response. Our guests are Deputy Superintendent of Police Stacey Ann Powell and JCF Call Center Manager Tanya Ricketts. Let's jump right back into it. Now, Lady Ricketts, I want to start this one with you.
Sure.
We've been talking about bomb threats. That's a big deal.
Right.
Everybody's attention is drawn. But you also mentioned not pizza orders, fast food orders. They're not just a pizza. And basic things that don't belong on the emergency line. What can you possibly do about these things?
Well, at the moment, we're not able to do much. It's not just pizza. When the children are at school, they call and ask for assistance with their homework.
Homework, ah.
Yes, they're having their simple disputes. They let us know, hey, this
Right.
boy hit me. So what we do currently, well, when they're home, they will say,
Yes,
"Are
walk
you
me
at
through the
home?
procedure, right.
Are you home?" Or call takers. We realize, okay, it's children. You listen. You hear some whispering going on. Are you home? Where's your mommy? Sometimes they walk to that mother or that adult, give the phone, and then we have
Right.
that discussion. Do you know the child called, and then you hear the person saying, "What? Why did you do this?" They really do not know what is going on.
Okay.
So, that is something that we have to deal with. There's not much legislation as it is at the moment
Right.
to handle that. So it's just one call at a time, basically. And we as the boy who cried wolf, it doesn't matter if the same person calls 100 times. We have to take each, because that person who may have pranked us 10 times before may very well have an emergency.
Right.
I know.
Man, that's a big heart. That's a
Yes.
big heart
Takes
and
a
good
lot.
policy. But you mentioned that there's not a lot of legislation yet, and DSP Paul, I want to bring you in here. Are there any movements in a positive direction in terms of policy and procedure?
So from a policy perspective from our office, we have upgraded our SOP, and that has
Wait, you have to help me out here now.
our standard operating procedure
Thank you.
to ensure that our call takers or agents carry out the necessary procedures. So irrespective, as Ms. Ricketts had indicated, even if we receive the call 10, 15 times, the officer or the call taker, the agent, is going to be responding to you in a professional way.
Right.
From a legislative perspective, though, the Offence Against the Persons Act
Yeah.
is the legislation currently that we are able to use to prosecute perpetrator of prank calls.
So it's not just a call anymore.
Section 9 was used the other day, and we currently have one person before the court who was charged for creating public mischief.
Right.
That coming from the bomb threat situation, and we are awaiting the results of that case.
I won't ask you your secrets and how you went from call to legislative
Yes.
procedures. But,
However, we are pushing as an organization, and those discussions are ongoing as it relates to a stronger legislation that speaks specifically to prank calls. If you look at other countries such as the US, UK, Canada, and some of our counterparts in the Caribbean, they have specific legislation, and if not legislation, penal codes that address the issue of prank calls. So I know there has been discussion around that as it relates to the final decision and the enactment of that particular legislation. We await that with
bated breath. So let me pull that together now from both of you. Part of the response, Lady Ricketts, is internal. You know, how we handle this, how we triage them, how we pass them off, and that's done. And part of it is also legislative, to act as a deterrent.
Yes.
Right? We know the children are cute and all that, but it's not just children, don't it?
So we have adults. Unfortunately, as we indicated, you have some persons who call for sexual favors. You have some persons, yes, you have persons who do that.
Yes.
Our call takers are trained. We continuously have training for them to remain professional. So despite the issues and challenges that they may face, they answer our calls, the calls that I receive with a smile. You have reached police emergency. How may I assist? What is your emergency? And state their names.
Right.
Or their numbers.
We're in the final seconds of this interview, but the audience is watching, and I won't say anything more about the audience, just that they are watching. I'd like to give you both just a few seconds each to speak directly to our audience. Lady Ricketts, please, you can start.
All right. For each prank call, it's a cost. It not only comes at a financial cost or a psychological cost, but it comes at a cost. It could be somebody's life that you're stopping from being saved. It could be someone that you know, and who knows. So we're just, imploring members of the public, parents, pay attention. Sometimes just go through your children's phone. You may very well see 119 as a dialed number. So we're just asking for your support in that, so we can cut that time and be able to assist more real callers.
Yeah, these people.
Support us in the fight against crime. And in supporting us in the fight against crime, act responsible.
Yes.
If you don't have an emergency, do not call 119. If you have a need to get information, use the correct means to get that information. Outside of that, we will continue to answer our calls professionally, and where it is that there's a need for prosecution, rest assured that the JCF will ensure you are prosecuted.
Indeed, on a very strong note, we are ending this conversation. And I do want to underline something that Lady Ricketts mentioned, how the absorbing of resources could one day be something that impacts me.
Yes.
As the caller, the prank caller.
Save a life.
Save a life, it may just be your own. This has been Get the Facts. Our guests have been Deputy Superintendent of Police Stacey Ann Powell and JCF Call Center Manager Tanya Ricketts. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take care.
Hi everyone, let's talk granting aid. Eligible targeted loan applicants may receive a non-repayable granting aid of $60,000. These funds can be used for school-related expenses such as traveling, buying food, housing, or purchasing a laptop, for example. Eligibility is determined by the financial circumstances of applicants and the availability of grants. Apply early at slbja.com and be one of 4,200 beneficiaries of our granting aid.
Nurse Sandra Chisholm Ford recently opened her home and a day in her life for our cameras, sharing how she juggles 2 teenagers, varying jobs and volunteer activities. Hopefully you'll gain insight and motivation to take on that task you have been avoiding. Take a look.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Sandra Chisholm Ford. Welcome to A Day in My Life. Okay, I'm gonna get the girls up. I generally have to wake them up twice, so this is gonna be their first wake up. Wake up, Mama. It's 4:45. I'll be making traditional Jamaican breakfast in mackerel and dumpling. I am a registered nurse. I'm a registered midwife. I'm a public health nurse, and I lecture at the U.S. School of Nursing, Mona. I also am a Justice of the Peace with the Parish of St. Andrew, and I am one of the Vice Presidents of the Nurses Association of Jamaica. So my plate is full during the day. My day generally entails me dropping off the girls at school, and I then go to the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. Then from there, I will go to the Andrews Memorial Hospital, and depending on what type of day I'm having, I will be going to the UE. You all must be wondering, how do I manage to get so many things in my day? It's not easy, and it doesn't matter how well planned your day is, something is going to be off. Time management is extremely important, and at any given time in your life, in your day, there is something that takes priority. So give it the time that it requires for it to be done properly.
While talking to you, don't
Listen, I put too much water in my flour. I have 4 biological children, but I have 6 children. My oldest he's not here now. My second is a computer analyst, and my third, she's a chemist. My baby, she is the goalie for the Jamaica's under-20 national lacrosse team. My other 2 daughters, Ulrika, she is in her final month of med. She'll be doing her final MBDS. My youngest, not biological either, but that's Esther. I got her after her mother died from breast cancer. That's my bunch. All right, so I think it's time for my second wake up for the girls. I hope it works this time. These are the girls I woke up earlier, dead asleep. 5:22. Wake up. Danielle is generally trouble. I may have to do a third wake up. I may have to do a third wake up. This is not scripted. This is done. While she makes up her mind, I'm gonna go get ready. I still have to feed this family. Fix your shoes. And fix your face. Too sulky. Oh yes, you guys went to JCDC yesterday. How was it?
You come first.
Oh, no, come first? Which one you sing?
For good from Wicked. Yourself.
For good from Wicked?
Yeah.
Who is Wicked?
It's a play. It's a musical.
Oh, Wicked is a musical. I thought Wicked was a person.
Well.
Okay. So give me a piece now.
I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed for good.
Remember to get something to eat.
She just put her stuff in the trunk, you know? Yes?
How much dumpling you want?
Girl, do not do that.
You don't want any food?
Alright guys, let's go. It's gonna rain today.
Great.
See, this is my favorite time of year. So the road is nice and
I didn't realize that there was
Welcome. This is the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. The Victoria Jubilee Hospital is the largest maternity hospital in the English-speaking Caribbean, and we do approximately 45% of the total births in the entire island annually. So this is the BCG room. So we give the BCG, which is the vaccine that protects the babies against tuberculosis, and we also give the hepatitis B. Hepatitis B is new. In the mornings when I get here, I prepare my igloos and I determine how many patients are necessary to get the vaccine. And we do BCG for all babies that are born and are with mommy. So we go from bed to bed and we ask each mother whether or not the baby had already gotten the vaccine. And the mother says no, we collect the infant's passport and we check to see if everything is written up properly, and we invite the mommy and the baby to come into the room and we give the vaccines in the room. So good morning. I'm Nurse Chisholm Ford. I'll be giving your babies 2 vaccines today. That's the BCG. They generally don't cry for the BCG because it doesn't hurt. Sometimes they fuss because my hands are cold. But the one on the leg, that stings a little bit, so they're going to scream, all right? After this, I would go to the postnatal surgical ward where I would do the same procedure, the BCG and hepatitis B. So I've just finished at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. I'll be making my way to Andrews Memorial Hospital. Then I'll be making my way to the University of the West Indies, Mona. So see you all at the UWI School of Nursing, Mona. Good morning, ma'am. It is now that time of year that the students dread most, exam time. So I had my final exam yesterday and I have papers to mark. Generally though, if I was not doing this, I would be teaching. Lectures are normally minimum 3 hours, and there are other activities that take place in the school where I am responsible for. I'm currently the Year 1 coordinator for the nursing program. I also help with the interviews, and when all of that is done, we have to start planning the new semester. But for today, as you can see, piles of paper. Following my meeting, I will maybe have lunch, and then I will pick my children up from school, take them home, and then I proceed to my volunteer clinic. My clinic at Whitfield Town Health Center is by far my most interesting experience and the one I love most. I have 2 of my students from the Columbia University in the US. They are nursing students and they are spending the afternoon as a part of our exchange program with the Columbia University. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patients for this afternoon. And the 5 of them are for contraceptive injection. I've been doing this since 2002, and I offer maternal and child health services to over 200 women. Every week varies depending on the appointments that we have. If you know, Whitfield Town community is one of the inner city communities that has a history of violence and a lot of turf wars, so patients are not able to cross borders to get health care. And these borders can either be real or imaginary. So having that service that they can come to is something that they are grateful for, and I am grateful to be able to serve. So thank you for coming.
Okay, bye.
Don't miss your appointment, please.
I won't.
Yes. So it is now 6:30. It's earlier than I normally leave. It's a little early day today. Patient count was a little light, but it was a wonderful day nonetheless. Thank you for sharing a day in my life. Bye.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's show. To catch a repeat of this or any other, feel free to log on to our website, gis.gov.jm. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.